everybody, and welcome to The Courageous Chick. I'm Shakia Mayer. I'm a licensed mental health therapist and personal development coach for professional millennial women, and I help women get clear, confident, and in control of their lives. And I do this through my coaching programs. If you did not catch my last video, I talked about the importance of having confidence. Is confidence important? Of course it's important. And I went over many reasons, as to 5 actually, as to why confidence is important. And so in this video, I wanted to give you some quick tips to help you build your confidence. Now, most of us are taught that confidence is a belief or feeling in something or someone. So a strong belief in something or someone. You have firm trust, or it's firm trust. So you have confidence that your car can take you to and from your job. You have confidence that your coworker can do X, Y, and Z. You have confidence that your partner will go grocery shopping. You have confidence in your parent or whomever, right? We're taught that confidence is a belief in something or someone. And so I want us to go beyond this idea that confidence only has to do with a belief or a feeling. In fact, confidence also has to do with being productive. Confidence has a lot to do with being active. So when you're thinking about how to build your confidence, aside from just believing in yourself, you have to take action. Now, if you watch my other videos and you hear me talk about taking action, and you might say, you know what, Shakia, you tend to talk about this a lot. I hear you always talking about action. It's repetitive. It's repetitive for a reason, because most people aren't taking action, because most people don't have the confidence in themselves. They don't have the self-confidence in order to take action. Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. So, because some people don't have the confidence in themselves to take their lives to the next level, to get that promotion at their job, to build their business, to be a rock star in their community, to be a leader in their organization. Because they don't have the confidence that they need, they're unable to do some of those things. So for that reason, I wanted to, as I said before, give you some quick tips on things you can do to build your confidence. So the first tip is to get organized. Hi everybody who is watching, whether you're watching live or on the replay. Thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes. Let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know if you need, or not need, but some of the skills that you use to build your confidence as we continue to have this conversation. Because again, I want to make this a community. So in order to make this a community, we gotta act like a community. We gotta talk to one another. Y'all can't just have me talking to myself and talking to the camera. I want to talk to you. So I want you to talk back to me. All right? I am looking down because I just want to share this over to the group really quickly. The Courageous Chick community group. It's a private group. All right. So, with that, tip number 1 to building your confidence is to get organized, okay? You need to get organized. Now, I realize that some people who know me, who might watch this video, might find it a little ironic that I'm talking about getting organized, because I'm not a very meticulous person. I think that there is some organization to my disorganization, and I'm okay with that. However, we have to be mindful, right, that it doesn't go beyond that it doesn't go beyond the unorganization or the disorganization for us to actually function or work well. Oh, I hope that makes sense. But anyway, So while I'm not meticulous, I definitely do believe in organization, because organization is going to have you be prepared for whatever it is that you're working on. So if you have a presentation, let's say you have a presentation coming up at your job and you say, well, I'm just going to remember everything. I'm not going to encourage you to do that, because it can be highly ineffective. When you go to give the presentation, you're not going to be as confident in what it is that you're saying or selling, because you're trying to remember everything. Or you're not going to be as confident if you're running late. And so if all of your things are all over the place and you're running out of the door and you didn't have time to make sure you had everything you need, you didn't have time to make sure you ate breakfast, you didn't have time to go through all of the things that you needed to go through, you're not going to feel as confident when you arrive to your destination, whether it's a job or a work function or an event or a gathering with you, hang out with you and your friends or whoever. And so one way to be confident is to be organized, because you're prepared. The second way, or second tip, that helps to build confidence is to use eye contact, okay? We want to use eye contact. I see you, okay? I'm looking at you, because we're engaged in a conversation. When you show eye contact, and when you're communicating with somebody, you're letting them know that you're paying attention, that you're engaged with what it is that they're saying, that you care about what it is they're saying. That helps you to feel more confident, because then, as the person is talking to you and you're looking at them, you're clear on your words. You know how to engage with people. So show up. Being confident also has a lot to do with your body language and your nonverbal cues. So, even if you're saying, oh, I'm confident and yeah, this is the work I'm used to doing, or I'm building a business, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but you're telling people this as you're looking down, and you're like, yeah, bop, 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 you don't come off as confident. So one tip to help build confidence is, or actually in this case, tip number 2, to help you build confidence is to look people in the eye when you are speaking to them and when they are speaking to you. You make eye contact because you are okay with who you are comfortable in your skin, and you're going to give them that attention, and you want them to give you the same type of attention back, and you're making a connection with them. I can talk so much about nonverbal communication because it's so important in our everyday interactions, but that's not the topic of this video, so I'm going to move on to tip 3. The third tip is to look your best. Now listen, you do not have to be a fashionista. I'm not a fashionista. I'm sitting here with, I don't even know, some t-shirt on. I'm not a fashionista. However, I do like to look nice. I take pride in how I look. I don't want to go outside looking any old kind of way, because I am representing myself, right? I'm representing myself and my professionalism. So if you are showing up at your job in a way where it's not really your best self, you're wearing clothes that you don't feel comfortable in, you're just, it shows if you wear something that you don't feel comfortable in, or things that are not ironed. When I was younger, side note, so when I was younger, I hated ironing, because I'm like, why? Let me just put it on. And my grandmother, my Nana, would get so upset, because she would always say, you don't leave the house looking that way. And she'd like make us iron our clothes. And there's something to it. When you look good, you do feel good. And I'm not saying in no way, shape, or form do I want us to obsess about our looks. That's not what I'm saying, because that's not healthy. But I do want us to take pride in how we look. I want you to show up looking your best, because you will feel your best. You know that saying, dress for the position you want, not the position you have? Well, here's the thing, that can spill over into all areas of your life. Dress for the situations that you want to encounter. You want people to take you, seriously, then but you're dressing, and this is no shade to anybody, but let's say you're 30 and you're still dressing like you're 16. Well, the type of opportunities you're probably, wanting to have, you may not get because maybe people aren't really taking you seriously because you're dressing like a teenager. And they want to know that whoever they are, going to bring onto their team, that they can trust them and that they can be mature enough to, let's say, host meetings with clients or to speak to their partners or whoever it is, right? And so again, no shade to nobody, to anybody, but we do want to take pride in how we look. Here's the thing. I realize I say here's the thing a lot. That's okay. Here's the thing. I know what I'm most comfortable in, and when I'm going into certain environments, that's what I would wear. So I'm not going to walk around in heels all of the time because, to be honest, I'm not comfortable in heels. I like how I look in heels. I think it definitely can add nice flavor to an outfit, but as an everyday thing, I'm not that girl, and I'm okay with that. I know that there are some women who love a heel every single day. That ain't me. That's okay. But that's okay because what's for me is for me, and what makes me feel comfortable is what makes me feel comfortable. And so I don't need, the approval of anybody else to make me feel comfortable. As long as I have myself together and I'm not looking a mess, I'm cool with it. So I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I don't like that expression. But anyway, I'll move on. My point is, you don't have to be a fashionista. You don't have to spend a lot of money on your wardrobe, but you can take pride in how you look. Use what's in your closet. What things do you like? What colors do you like? What works well with your body? What works well with your height? Whatever it is for you, put on what's going to help you to feel like your strong and confident and courageous self. Because, again, you dress for the situation you want, not maybe the situation you're in. That also helps to, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'll save that for another video. Let's move on to the fourth tip. The fourth one is to know your worth. That helps you to be confident. When you know your worth, you know your value. You're not going to settle for less because you know all that you bring to the table. Now you have to know what you bring to the table, okay? Don't show up to no table empty and thinking you're supposed to have a certain type of result. Know what you bring to the table, and because you bring this to the table, you know your value, you know your worth, and you will not settle for less. That helps to add that layer of confidence because you know what you bring, you know what you can offer, and you have to stand in your truth. You have to own who you are, and that's part of knowing your worth. You can't really own who you are if you don't know what your worth is. So make sure that you are practicing, some self-worth tips or tools, rather, strategies, so that you do know your worth and you are clear on who you are and what you want. Okay, so tip number 5 is to know your strengths and weaknesses. Here's the thing. We all have strengths and weaknesses. And some people are not as confident because they allow their weaknesses to overshadow their strengths. Again, I repeat, we all have strengths and weaknesses, okay? We cannot let the weaknesses take over. So know what your strengths are. Use your strengths to your advantage and use your weaknesses to your advantage. But it's possible to use your weaknesses to your advantage. Here's really quickly, everything that we view as, or that you might view as negative, is not necessarily negative. I want you to just keep that in mind, because when you view it as negative, you build up this story and you make it bigger than it needs to be, and that can impact your confidence. So a tip, to just make sure that you are working to build your confidence, you want to look at strengths and weaknesses. You want to look at both sides, okay? So I want you to keep that in mind. And for tip number 6, you don't criticize yourself. Stop criticizing yourself. The more you criticize yourself, the less confident you will be. The more you say, oh my God, I'm so skinny, I'm so fat, I'm so tall, I'm so short, you're not going to be as confident. When you walk into a room, you're going to, you know what you're going to do? You're going to be like this, and you're going to find a little corner. You're going to want to go hide. You're not going to be as confident. And if you're doing that when you walk into the room, how can you network? How can you meet people? Some of y'all want to get married, you want to be in relationships, but how can you do it when you're not even confident in yourself? You're not even confident with going to talk to people. How you going on a date? How is that happening? You can't go on a date if you're not talking to nobody. Because then even if they approach you, because you don't own who you are and you don't have the confidence that you want to have, you don't even know how to talk back. Some of y'all don't even know how to flirt, but that's a different conversation. I'm not a relationship coach, so I'm not even going to go there. But you want to stop criticizing yourself. The more you criticize yourself, the less confident you will be. Some people criticize themselves all of their lives, and they criticize themselves about things that they can't change. Let's see, certain facial features. I mean, I guess they can change it if they go get plastic surgery, but that's pretty drastic. We don't all, you may not even need plastic surgery. You don't have to go into, you don't have to have major surgery or spend a lot of money to change yourself. If you had the confidence that you needed, the self-worth, maybe you wouldn't need to go have surgery. Side note, this is no shade against anybody who has plastic surgery. I'm just using this as an example. There are some things that people can't change about themselves. Maybe it's their eye color. Maybe it's their nose. Maybe they're too short. Let me give you a quick example. There are two people in my life in particular. One person is really short and the other person is tall. Both are women. And one person, the person who's short, complains about being so short from time to time. The person who's tall complains about being tall. And so I find it's interesting to me because that saying we want what we don't have is so true, which is why we want to start to own who we are and accept where we are, who we are, and what we have and what we bring to the table. There are some things that we cannot change. Do you want to go through your whole life miserable over something you can't change? You got to learn how to accept some of those things, which means you can't keep criticizing yourself. There's no way you can have high self-worth, high self-esteem, high value if you are only speaking negatively about yourself. That ain't happening. How is that going to happen? It's not going to happen. So I want you to be aware of some of the things that you criticize. I'm just looking to see if there are any comments because I don't want to ignore any comments. I don't see any right now. So you don't want to go through life criticizing yourself, because that is, to me, honestly, because the criticism is also connected to some other things, and I won't go too deep and too much into that during this video for the purpose of time. But when you are always criticizing yourself, it says that there are a lot of things that you are unhappy with, right? It's a criticism. And if you notice that you're criticizing yourself all the time, perhaps you're not actually looking at your strengths. So remember, tip number 5 was know your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you're only looking at your perceived flaws, your perceived limitations, your perceived weaknesses, and you're not actually looking at the positive things about you, your positive qualities and attributes. So stop criticizing yourself. Remember earlier in the video I said sometimes we only see the negative. We only see the negative side of a situation. And when you're criticizing yourself and it's a constant thing, you're only seeing the negative side of you. You're only seeing the things that you don't like. And that creates a life of misery and a life of lack of self-love, lack of self-compassion. No way to go through life. So stop it. This is your reminder. Don't do it. Stop it. Knock it off. Not good. No. All right. So Let me know whether or not you have any questions, or I know I only gave you 6, and of course there are so many more ways for you to build your confidence, but I only talked about 6 tonight, and that's okay. Let me know in the comments if you have any things that you do to help build your confidence on a daily basis. Everything I mentioned in this list, it are things that you can start to implement into your life now. So don't say, oh, I can't do this because of X, Y, and Z. No, no, no. You can do it now. So let's make it happen. Also, remember that confidence goes beyond just the belief. It has to do with action. All of the things on the list require some sort of action, right? Because even with strengths and weaknesses, you're going to use them. That's the action. You're going to look your best. They require action from you. They require you to be productive. So confidence also requires your action or your productivity, not just the belief. And it is a skill. So just like other skills that you have to build, you build confidence too, because it's a skill. I can do, and maybe I will do another video on confidence because there's so much more to say. So much more. And some people who think they are confident, they're not all that confident. And that's okay, because again, it's a skill, so we can build on it. We can learn how to be more confident. So again, as I said, let me know if you have any questions, comments. Let me know if you have any tips that you use before we go. If you didn't check out the last video, I'll post the link in this post, in this description. In the description of this post, to the last video talking about reasons why confidence is important. I think it's a cool video. I want you to check it out. I want you to listen to it and then come back and watch this video. See what you can put together and what you can take away, and then let me know in the comments. That's all I have. That is all I have for today. As always, I hope that you have a courageous day, and I will talk to you all real soon. Bye.